Hi there, welcome to Code Invasion. In this video, we'll learn how to build a simple text with an image background. To get started, let's open VS Code, and in our VS Code, we'll go to the File tab and open a folder where we want to keep our project. Having selected the folder, we'll open it in VS Code. The first thing we'll do is to create our HTML file, which we'll call index.html. We'll then generate our boilerplate code and change the title to text with image background. Good. Our HTML file is a simple one with a div with a class name container, and inside that div we have an h1 with a class name heading. Now the text is New York. Good. Now we can run our file using the live server extension to see the result in the browser. If you don't already have the live server installed, you can head to the extensions tab and type in live server. You need to have internet to be able to see this, by the way. This is the one we are using in this tutorial. What live server does is that it helps you to see the changes you make to your HTML code live in the browser. So we would split our screen between the browser and our VS Code at this point. Now I would create my styles.css file, and I misspelled that. I'm going to just change this to styles. Good. Now in the index.html, I will link my styles.html file right beneath my title using the link tag. It's important to link the styles.css file, otherwise we won't see the changes we make using our styles.css. Inside our styles.css file, the very first thing we'll do is to use the universal selector to set every default margin to 0 and every default padding to 0. Having done this, we also set the box sizing property to border box. If you don't know what the box sizing property is, it is the property that specifies how CSS should calculate the width and height of the boxes in our HTML, or the elements in our HTML. Border box simply means that CSS should include the margin and padding as part of the width and height of our elements. This is ideally the best way because it gives you more control over the look of your website. If you still need more explanation on that, you can check out the tutorial we have on the channel, which goes in depth into what box sizing is. So finally, for our universal selector, we would set the font family for everything to be Verdana because it's a beautiful font. Good. We'll then move on to style our container class. For our container class, usually in CSS, what we'll do is to give it a temporary background color so we can see what's going on with our element. So I'll set it to red, and the first thing I want to do is to ensure that on whatever device my user would be seeing the site, I want this container class to fill the whole width of that device. So I'll set the width to 100 viewport width. The viewport is simply the device the user is using to view the site. So if we set the width of our container to 100 viewport width, we are simply saying take as much space as there is on the user's device. Good. We'll also do the same thing with our height. We set it to 100 viewport height. Good. Now we want to center our text, so we would give this container class a display of flex, and we'll use the justify content and the align items property to align our text to the center of the page just like that. So we are done with our container class. We can then go ahead and remove this background color. Boom, just like that. Now for the heading, we first of all want to increase the size because it's too small at the moment. So we will set the font size to, let's say, 12 rem. Let's see how that looks on the full screen. Oh, we still have some space on the sides over here, so I think we can increase it to about 14 rem, just like that. Boom, let's check it out again. Okay, I think it's good now, even though we have some space there. Now the very first thing we'll do is want to specify the background image we want to be in the background of our text. So we'll use the background shorthand and we'll specify the URL. Now for our images, we can simply get an image at Unsplash. If you don't know what Unsplash is, it's simply a site where you can get some very cool and amazing images for free. So I'll search New York City. Okay, New York City, and I'll select from one of these images a very beautiful picture. I've seen some beautiful ones already. I think the one I like is this one by Andres. So I'll copy the image address, right? Then I'll head over to my tab, split my screen again, and inside the URL I will just paste it over there. Good. So there we have it. You see our heading have a background image. Now this is not the result we desire, because what we want is actually for our background image to be within the boundaries of our text. So we would use the background clip property to do that. So we'll simply have a background clip property and we'll set it to text, and boom, all of a sudden our image has disappeared. The reason we can't see our image within the boundaries of our text is because the color on our text is by default black. We can change this to transparent, and after that we will see the image clearly. Now there are some properties in CSS that do not render well on certain browsers like Safari and Chrome. Therefore, we have to use the WebKit prefix to specify that. So we'll simply set the WebKit background property of background clip to, oh sorry, okay, I've got it now, to text like we did with the first one, and we'll be fine on Safari and Chrome. Now the final thing I think we need to do to make this pop would be to set the background color of our container class to black so that the image can pop. Good, just like that. Like it. Alright then guys, so there you have it. This is how to create a text with an image background. If you like to learn how to hide and show passwords on your website using HTML, CSS and JavaScript, check out the tutorial I've got on the channel page, and I'll see you over there. Happy coding.